Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So as I mentioned in my last video, I did get the Colour Trip palette from Kash Beauty, and so in today's video I want to do two looks with this palette. I have played with it already a fair amount, as you can see by these cake liners down here, but I'm going to do like a sunset look, and then I think I'm going to do a green look as well, just to show you. And I will be using these cake liners. As you can see, it's a little bit messy. I did wish the white and black weren't in the same pan because it has kind of messed up the white a little bit. But I do quite like these cake liners. I think it's quite fun and they're quite easy to use. But yeah, I just wish the white and black weren't in the same pan because they can like kind of mix into each other a little bit. But I've really enjoyed playing with it so far. The eyeshadows are really nice and work well together, so yeah, I'm going to show you two looks using this palette. Okay, so first of all I am going in my Lily Lola eye primer as always to prep and prime the eyes and get them ready for these colourful looks. Okay, so first of all I'm going in with the shade Soul, which is beautiful purple red tone. I'm just taking off a fluffy brush and I'm going to slowly start to buff this onto the outer portion of my lid, just slowly building up and just really building up into the crease and onto that outer portion. Then just to add a bit more deepness and a bit more red to it, I'm taking the shade Hot Fuzz this time. It's that same brush, but I'm just really focusing this more onto the outer portion just to deepen up ever so slightly, and like I said, bring some more reddy tone to the look. Then I'm going to go in with the shade Gleam, and I'm going to use this just to blend out those shadows. So I'm using the exact same brush again. I believe it's a Sigma brush, I'll have it linked down below, but I'm just using that to blend out the pinky reddy tones and almost create another pink, lighter pink tone as a transition as well. And of course I'm bringing it out because I always do. Then taking the shade Retro, and I'm going to pack this onto the outer portion of the lid, kind of starting going a diagonal angle and really patting it on there. And then what I do is I take some more of Hot Stuff and a little bit of Soul, and I use a fluffy brush just to kind of really blend it out. And I do take my time just to blend it out. I want the intensity of Retro and that deepness, but I want to make sure it's nice and blended and diffused. So I just slowly build up on those two colours on top and blend that shade out, just to create a nice smoke to the outer corner. Then I'm going to go in with the shade Fantasy. It's beautiful purple shimmer. I'm going to use it on a brush for this look. In the second look I use my finger on a shimmer, and I do think fingers work better. But I'm just packing this onto the inner third of the eye, and I do just gently pat over onto the outer portion just to diffuse it slightly, but the main focus is the inner portion. I also do pat a little bit above the crease, just again so it diffuses up into the crease section as well, because I think it's quite pretty. And also makes the lid look bigger if you take the shimmer just a little bit higher than your crease as well. But I feel the shimmers almost have like a wet finish to the eyes, which I think is really pretty. Then I'm taking the shade Wasted, I'm taking it on a pencil brush and I'm running it along the lower lash line. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of the reverse liner for this, because I think it's really cool. So yeah, I'm just going to take that shade and then start to wing it out from the lower lash line and bring it a little bit onto the upper lid. And then what I'm going to do is just use my foundation brush just to tidy up slightly and a little bit smudge out. Then I'm taking the shade Riches, which is a beautiful coppery orange shimmer. Again, just on the pencil brush, I'm taking this along the inner portion of the lower lash line. I do think kind of purple tones with these orange coppers is really pretty. So just in that lower portion of the inner, or the inner portion of the lower lash line, and I also do take it in the inner corners as well. Then I just layer up my lashes with mascara, and that is this first look complete. So really beautiful smoky purple eye. I think these colours are beautiful, and yeah, that's look number 1 complete. So on to look number 2. So like I said, I'm going for more greens in the second look. So I'm taking the shade Lucid to begin with, and I'm just packing this onto the outer portion of the lid. I'm not blending yet, I'm just packing on the colour. This is a gorgeous green colour. Then I'm going in with the shade Dazed. It's a bit more like a turquoisey teal blue-green. I use the same brush. I start to pack on a little bit, and then when it gets to the inner corner, I do go and blend in that shade. Now what I do love about this palette, and I think it's always important with a really colourful palette, is having a white shade, which I will go in with next, the shade Gleam, because especially with bright colours where you want to diffuse them a bit more and also want a bit more of a transition shade, because obviously colourful palettes don't always have that transition shade. Whites are perfect for that. So as always, I'm bringing this shadow out because it's my favourite style. And like I said, I'm going in with Gleam now and using it to buff out what I've just done, but also add a little bit of a transition shade of a lighter green, just to make it all a little bit seamless. So yeah, I always think whites are key in a colourful palette, especially. I think whites are great in any, white and black is definitely key in any palette, but especially for colourful palettes, it just really makes it a lot more versatile. And then I did go back in with a bit more Lucid, just to deepen up the outer portions ever so slightly. So that was the first green that I went in with. Okay, then taking the shade Hypnotic, which is stunning. Again, it very much looks wet on the lids. And this time I'm using my finger, because as I said, I do think the finger just gives that bit more impact. I think the brush works perfectly fine, but I think the finger gives that a little bit more impact, gives it a little bit more of a wet feel on the lid. And yeah, I think this is stunning. And in this look, I am going to use a cake liner because I realised I didn't in the first look. So you will get to see that in action. So I'm using the blue shade from the Tropical Fusion bit. Just taking a spray. I think this was actually a fixing mist I used. Just to spray it. Take a little angled brush. I think it's actually a paintbrush. Just dip it in there to coat the brush. You don't want it too wet, these liners, because otherwise they get a bit watery. So just a little bit of wetness is all I need, and then they work really beautifully. And it's just a fun way of mixing up a look. You can do like a really nice neutral look and then just pop a colourful liner on it. I think it's really cool. So I really like this concept. I do think the pans could be a little bit easier to work with, but the actual liners to work with are great. It's just, like I said, the white and black can mix a little bit together, which can be a little bit annoying. But no, I really do like these cake liners. And again, I just load up my lashes with mascara, and that is the green look complete. So that's the 2 looks complete. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know which is your favourite down below, and whether you've tried this palette or you like the look of this palette. And yeah, leave any requests for future videos down below, and I'll see you all in my next video. Thanks for watching.